Thanks for joining Let's Start a Business. My name's Megan, and I'm going to just say I'm a little bit embarrassed. In episode 1 and 2, I never actually discussed what my business was. And in this episode, I'm going to share that. I'm going to take a step back and explain a little bit about my background and then share with you what my business actually is. So, before I get started, let's talk about where I came from. I was in the military for 6 years and was going to school. And then after I got out of the military, I needed to complete my degree. It was a struggle because I was working full time plus also trying to go to school full time. Long story short, I got all my ducks in a row, and something that I had tried pursuing for 10 years. After getting my ducks in a row, I completed it in a year. That was a huge accomplishment to me. And that's how I found that I really loved optimizing and organizing myself and the things that I needed to do. So after college, I thought, I really love engineering. So I ended up diving into software engineering, ended up working with a startup, and through these amazing consulting, and essentially started consulting, I was just really blessed in having these opportunities that allowed me to work with these amazing companies. And I was able to kind of just gain insight into the different workflows that teams were working on. I got to see it from an engineering side. And then eventually I kind of fell into program and project management. And I think working on the consulting side, you get to work with all of these different teams and kind of understand what their pain points are. And then as an engineer, you can see what happens when the process fails and it comes to you and you have to build it. So when I stepped into program and project management, having that insight really helped me understand what the engineering teams are going to need going forward. And I guess that's kind of what really made me strive for, filling in the gaps. And that kind of streamlines into what my business is. I think as going back to my engineer roots, you always try to optimize as much as your workload as you can because there's a lot of things that can become tedious. Yes, in the beginning when you're building something, you may just need to get it out the door. But when you come back to it, you need to further refine it and make it better. And that happens by optimizing it, by documentation, and just making sure that those workflows are a lot better. And that's kind of that can go through in so many different ways. And I try to follow through with that in what I do. So essentially what I am a business strategist and a project manager. I help my clients optimize their process and manage projects from start to finish. I specifically work with solo entrepreneurs, startups, and small businesses. In all of that, I guess, beautified messaging, essentially what I do is I help streamline workflow processes and make it better, and then also help bring in escalated projects that are missing deadlines. That's kind of comes from my project management roots. I like really going in, helping bring projects back on track, and essentially once we bring that project back on track, create a system to make sure that it stays on track, and essentially have a cadence on making sure that we're there's communication going across, there's check-in points, and there's milestones for what we're delivering. And then in regards to the business side, essentially, if I think getting started, most businesses are going to have a system in place. But like I mentioned before, once you get something in place, you always need to continue to refine it. So what can you optimize? What can you automate? What workflows can you adjust to help you get things done more efficiently? Less manual, tedious work is kind of put to the side, and you're putting some type of automation structure in place. That's what I help businesses with. Now that we've gotten the formalities out of the way, not that I don't love talking about my business and the services that I provide, but I really want to, talk about what I experience as a solo entrepreneur each week, and kind of like what were some of my pain points and some of the things that I'm going through. So, last week we talked about imposter syndrome and building a strong collaboration. Again, I think you will always feel a little bit of imposter syndrome, and you just got to kind of work through that. This week, I have really been focusing on streamlining my systems, trying to, get things in place for making sure that I'm not doing everything all at once. I think because I'm really focusing in on wanting to build a community and audience, I'm wanting to do client outreach. I'm, trying to be more active in my podcast and my YouTube channel. There's a lot of things going on right now, and I am working a lot. I think last week I was working from 6:30 until 12 p.m. at night. I was taking breaks here and there, but there's a lot that I still need to get done. And it's not just about client outreach. It's all of these things that I still need to do. And they're important to me. And I know in the long run, it's going to help build the community and the audience that I want. And I can share with what I've built. So essentially, so that I'm not burning myself out, I've been trying to put systems in place so that I'm not running a schedule like that. And I'm still in the midst of that. I'm still trying to understand what and how I do stuff. Right now, it's trying to set up automations and really figuring out a specific structure. I have an idea on, like, for example, I was using Jira and Asana. Both of them are, for what I need right now, they're both a little bit more than what I need, but I want more than just putting things in a Google Sheet, because it's free, but it's also can get lost very easily. So I'm investigating ClickUp so that when I'm building out everything that I need to do for my content calendar, can I automate any of that? I set up my CRM and started my funnel this week, just kind of trying to test the waters with my audience and understanding, okay, are they comfortable with the content that I'm putting in this? And just kind of understanding my audience a little bit. And then also, I'm not solely relying on my business as well. I'm also consulting, and I'm going to continue doing that until my business is fully running. And then, I also like kind of having that in the background too, because as much as I want to get my business up and going, and I want to have that, I still like working within other companies, because you kind of keep up with the trending technologies and understanding what's going on in that world when you're still in that. So I have a couple of different things right now that I'm working on, and I know it sounds very crazy and scattered. Believe me, it's not. And one of these episodes, I'm going to walk through my entire workflow process and explain how I'm doing everything. I'm not quite there yet where I want to share it, but it's there, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about who I'm connecting with, and the creative part of all of this stuff that's kind of happening with my business, and that's really, that's really important to me, and that's the reason why I'm, not that I want to be able to help businesses and build things for them. But the other part of me wanting to start my business is the creative part of it, the passion part of it. That only makes me want to do better work for my clients and provide better services for them. So that's kind of where I'm at this week. It's just kind of working with systems and putting those in place and getting my ducks in a row. And again, I know it sounds crazy, but it's not. It's not that crazy. There is a system behind the madness, and I will share it. I will share it here in a few weeks. It's going to take a little bit more focus on the content that I'm going to walk through versus me just kind of having a conversation, which is what I kind of like doing in these podcasts. Is I like just having a conversation versus just talking through a script, I guess. But, I definitely think that's important. But if there's anything that you want to hear that I've not talked about so far, please leave a comment or reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I know this one's probably a little all over the place, but again, there's a lot going on, a lot of awesome stuff going on. And I hope you join me for this amazing journey, because it's just going to get more awesome. So thanks everyone for joining. Have a great week.